What's up, everybody? My name is NIKASIN. Thanks for coming back to my channel. This is episode 3 of Midnight Corp. We have my good friend here, Bboy Dragon. What's up, man?
What's up, man?
He is a professional fighting gamer, so he plays all sorts of fighting games. So I'll lead it off to you. What got you into fighting games back in the day, or what got you into video games in general?
Oh man, if we're going back.
Yeah, let's go way back.
Way back. Believe it or not, I started off with Sonic the Hedgehog on Sega.
Sonic? Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah, man. I was like, oh man, we try to get all the ring, we try to get all that stuff, and then
I remember that back in. That's awesome because I feel like most people always say Super Mario, but the Sega.
Yeah,
you know,
I went
was
reverse.
a big title.
I started off Sega fanboy.
They had some good ones.
Yeah, and then from there, I believe my first fighting game was like playing like as a little kid, not knowing what I'm doing, not knowing the block button. You know,
right,
back
of course,
in the day, you know, you just
the
young,
first
you just
introduction to it.
Just mashing buttons was like was games like Mortal Kombat and Capcom vs SNK too.
I remember those. Mortal Kombat is an absolute classic.
And I don't remember which Mortal Kombat. It was one of the older ones.
It was probably, I would say it was probably 1 or 2. Oh, 3. Yeah, it could have been 3.
Because I didn't start to like junior, like young, middle elementary school. So yeah, it was 2 or 3. I forgot. It was 2 or 3.
One of the old school ones. Yeah.
But I was just mashing, so I didn't really know much like stuff.
Right.
Like
Yeah, that's how we all started our fighting games. And then, some of us still do that, like me.
Yeah, and then you know, growing up and all that other stuff. Dead or Alive 2 Ultimate came out, and it was like on the original Xbox. I remember that, and it had online. It had online system for lobby system, and the netcode and everything was pretty decent. And that's when I started like playing like, oh, this is blocked. This is, you know, framed out. This is.
You're like, oh, I can start owning people.
And I was like, oh, this is how you actually play fighting games, and you know, just start playing casual, and then you know, just going out for the history, and then Dead or Alive 5.
That was a big one, right?
Yeah,
that was one of the big ones?
Because it came out after like a 6-year break from DOA 4, so it was like a big, you know. Big years. It's like a whole lot of years that happened, and you're just like, oh, we're not gonna get a new Dead or Alive. We're not gonna get a new Dead or Alive, and it just came out.
I remember. I remember that.
And they're like, oh, we're gonna have this league and everything. I said, no, let me try. I'm doing okay. I do okay. You know, online. So I said, hey, they're having a tournament in Massachusetts, where I'm from. And I said, no, I'm gonna go down there and try out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
see
then,
what I can do. Yeah.
And then from there, that's kind of how I got into the whole scene and everything. And that's what got me into competitive, like really competitive. And
when you started owning people, you're like, wait, I can be good at this.
Yeah. And then from there, from Massachusetts, like it was a smaller one. And then my first big one was Northeastern Championships, and I believe that was all the way in 2011. Or 2011, 2012, right when Dead or Alive 5 came out, and it was like 140 players. I got 9th, so it shocked a lot of people because I'm a new player. And then you know that was a big thing. And then from there, other fighting games came out. I said, let me try out these other fighting games now that I know about this. The
community and like, you know, that's what got me into Halo back in the day. When I found out that you could go to tournaments and compete, I was like, oh my god, let me get good at this game, like really good, you know.
Yeah,
I remember that when you found out about the tournaments, it was like, oh, this is another level. Like, because back then, like the kids nowadays, they know that you can compete online and they know there's tournaments, but like back then we hadn't been exposed to it because the internet wasn't like it is now. Not everything wasn't interconnected like it is now. Like now everybody knows about everything everywhere, but it wasn't like that back in the day. So I know that feeling of when you're like, I remember the first time I saw MLG was at the end of Halo 2, beginning of Halo 3-ish. And I was like, oh my god, people go to tournaments and there's a crowd cheering them on. I was like, I need to get into this.
Yes.
That really feeds it, dude. When you get the people like cheering you on and stuff, that's the best.
And not even just that, just when you meet the community within your game that you're really passionate about, you get to learn all that all them secret techniques and stuff like that. You learn the tech, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you know,
the next level stuff that like only the pros kind of like mastered.
And you know, and there's some stuff even with the internet, with today, there's still some stuff that you learn easier in person. You know
that makes sense. Yeah.
You know, stuff like that, but like. Yeah, so...
Let me ask you this. So I know in Halo 3, a big difference, like if you were to practice online, LAN was almost a different game. It played so much better on LAN. Is that how it is for fighting games? Because fighting games are mad quick, so I would imagine that it's a whole different like ball game, like competing live.
It is. It's really really big. So like I don't know too much about the Halo community in terms of like how online tournaments run on there. Online tournaments and the fighting game community is looked down upon.
That's okay, yeah.
Even during the pandemic we're in, it's still looked down upon.
It makes sense because there's connection issues.
Yeah,
that's what Halo. The big tournaments are in person, but they do have some online. But the big ones are LAN, no internet.
Yeah, so it's a big difference, night and day. It's not even just that either. It's also how should I say? It's like a pressure thing too. Competing in person.
Oh, for sure, dude.
It's completely different than competing at home.
When you got people watching you and you don't want to mess up and something goes wrong or something, I totally understand.
Yeah, but it's a really big difference. So like online, it's good to practice, but it's one of those things where
you got to get practice. You got to get live in person practice.
Yes,
of course,
which goes into another thing. I'm not sure if you want to hear. But yeah. We're on a podcast about fighting game professional stuff. So yeah, this is some stuff people want to hear. Like some states have big advantages. Like for example, Boston, New York City, Cali, some places in Florida. They have advantages because they have what you call offline arcades kind of thing, where people can go. Like New York City, they have Next Level. Massachusetts, we have Balance Patch. California, they have it's called the Level Up series. You can all search this up. Could be wrong to California, but I know for a fact New York.
I'm sure they have sometimes. A few, yeah.
I go there sometimes in New York. They have Next Level. Massachusetts, we have Balance Patch, and they have weeklies offline. And people are just practicing, grinding.
Oh, that's awesome.
They're competing.
Yeah. That must be so fun. I remember you took me to one back in the day. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
We went to one, what was it, in like Dorchester or Brighton? Or
yeah,
like
yeah.
One
it
of
was
those?
It was somewhere in Hyde Park, I think, yeah.
Yeah, so it was somewhere in the
like
deep
that,
Boston.
But even a bigger scale now. Like
way bigger scale,
It's even a bigger scale now. It's literally a video game cafes. They have that for fighting gamers. And
that's awesome.
And so like states like that, they have big advantages. So like usually people you see in top 16, top 8 in the big tournaments, they usually, not all the time, but they usually hail from those type of cities because they get that offline practice.
Yeah, that real experience.
They're already used to having a crowd around them. They're already used to being
the nerves are dead to that because they practice with that regularly. That makes sense.
But you do. I'm not trying to downplay online people because some people have only online as their option before they go to their first offline tournament. There are some people that know how to practice online and know what really works and what's real and what's fake.
Right.
Like this will only work online. This will work online and offline, etc. And basically, right. And you get that some of those people that really understand it, and they'll do really well in their first offline tournament. You know what I mean? So it's still a possibility. That makes sense.
They're like aware of it, even though they only play online.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I know in Halo, they kind of hide. It's like like if they're practicing, like you kind of hide your practices sometimes, or you. Do they do that? Like I imagine because fighting games, it's just one person versus one person, and if they have those things, is it pretty much like out in the open, or do people try and like hide techniques or hide certain things that they won't do it in practice, but then they'll do it in person?
Oh yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Of course, I figured,
and stuff like that. But it's a double edge. It's a double edged sword in fighting games because what happens is so basically, fighting games, your character can only do so much, stuff like that. So what happens is this. Some people find tech, but they don't find the counterplay to their own tech. So when they go to a tournament...
Oh, that makes sense.
And then they go to a tournament, they get top 8, and the person studies it, and then, because top 8 don't happen the same day. It happens the next day. Okay. They study it, and then they learn, that's how it really works, and then not used to people countering, reacting it.
Yeah, because they didn't show anybody that they were going to do it. Right?
You know what I mean? Yeah. And then they're like, I see what they're doing. They break it down overnight in the hotel room, and then they're ready for it. And you know what I mean?
Yeah, so that makes sense.
So usually, like the best players are the ones that have like the small, they're part of a team already or a sponsorship, or they have like a clique of friends that they trust, and they practice, and they show off the tech. And they're like to their friends or whatever. So when it comes down to a tournament, and say someone knows that this basic combo into this corner setup, he's plus 5 frames. So it's a frame data thing. So let's just say he's plus 5, and you're like, like, oh, they know that, so they're gonna start respecting it, and you're not used to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you're
that makes
used
sense.
You're used to them just doing this. It's like it's probably really bad. I'm probably gonna butcher this for Halo terminology. So it's like going like it's like it's like
Certain
for example.
strats.
So it's like for example, like like made up pattern. Let's say like you always know that's gonna they're gonna respawn here.
Yep. Yep.
So you're gonna come around this corner exactly, and you're not used to them knowing that. So you're just gonna be like, oh, I'm going around this corner, and you get hit by a shotgun. It's like, oh yeah, I already know this strategy. But if you know that they know, that's when the real mind games.
Yeah, because it's like you have to be like 3 or 4 steps ahead of them.
Yes. So like that's a big thing. Like it's a double-edged sword. But the best people are the ones that hide the tech, but they share in that small.
So they can
circle.
Practice with it too.
And they're like, oh yeah, I'm ready for them if they know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, you knew. Oh, but I knew.
Yeah. I knew you knew that I knew that you knew.
Yeah.
That's exactly how Halo is. You have to, if you're like shooting, like if you're BRing, that's the thing. It's like a 4-shot. If you're doing that and then you both go behind something, you have to know like, oh, maybe he thinks like a normal noob would think you're going to come out the other side. So if I'm facing a normal noob, I'll just go back out this way.
Yeah.
Because they're going to think if I'm moving this way that I'm coming out that side. So I'll go back this way and then they don't know, then they're dead. But if it's an advanced player, he's gonna know I might come out this way, but so I might go out that way. But then he might be like, oh wait, he might know that I know that by my BR. So it's a complete mind game. Like you really do have to be like 4 steps ahead in pro gaming. It's crazy.
Yep.
There's different tiers of how good you can be. You can just be a good gamer, but that's still nowhere near like professional level.
But that is so true though. It's so funny though. In the fighting game community, it's the same thing. That hidden tech.
I'm not surprised. It makes sense because it's like that competitive nature and that things that happen when people get ultra competitive. There's money on the line. There's pressure. It's like they're gonna behave somewhat similar if they're very competitive people. Like there's only gonna be a certain amount of ways that you behave. At that level.
Yeah.
Did you ever play? I gotta ask because this is one of my favorite fighting games, and it's not like the craziest fighting game ever, but it comes up a lot. Did you ever play it was a launch title on PS1 called Battle Arena Toshinden?
I did not play it at launch, but I did play it with Gil Hustle, the person who shout out to my sponsorship, Ultimate Gaming Style, UGS. Gil Hustle, because he's like an old school head.
Yeah.
I played that.
He's a fan of that?
Yeah, because he's
me and him would get along.
He's older. He's older. He's like in his 40s. I know he's in his 40s.
That makes sense. My uncle's in his early 50s, I believe, and he's the one who got the PlayStation on launch. He's like, Matthew, check this out. He showed me Battle Arena Toshinden, Resident Evil, like all those like classic PS1. That was the real generation that switched everything, in my opinion, because that was when the consoles went to 3D. So like all these game developers were like, oh, we don't have to do side scroller anymore. We can do something in 3D. And you see like the game I was playing earlier, Jumping Flash. That's like a random weird game. It's like a robot rabbit that jumps and it gets these AirPod carrots. It's like that stuff's never gonna come back. But it was so good for the time because they were like, yo, let's try it out. We can do something really weird.
Man, but shout outs to Gil Hustle again. Like he's old school. Like he has like still original PlayStation. He has the original. He has the Dreamcast. Like he has,
like I'm all set up and everything.
He has the consoles and stuff like that. Like,
shout out. That's dope.
Like he can use nothing wrong about emulator. I use emulators.
Yeah,
let's be real.
I use emulators too.
Let's be real.
I have all the games. It's just like I don't want to play them on my TV. I want to play them on my PC. That's the main difference. I bought all these games that I emulate. So I mean, I've never thought it was a big deal. Whatever.
Plus trying to hook it up to our TVs nowadays is
pain. That and it's a whole different ballgame when you get a PC to play stuff on. It's just better. Everything's universal. You can go check everything all on what's like the game station.
Yeah, freaking but Gil Hustle's that OG where he has it. It's
awesome.
like I've been over his house and I was just like, oh man, first time I was over there, I was like, oh man, that's what he said, the battle tension. I was like, yeah, I played it a little bit over his house with a lot of old school stuff over there, man.
They had this interesting one. It was Battle Arena Toshinden 3, and so 1 and 2 played the same. 2 was a little bit better combos, a little bit more colorful. Not a huge difference, but enough for a sequel. And then they had Battle Arena Toshinden 3. I'm not sure if you played that one, but so the way the system works is most maps are like this cube, and you can actually bounce off the walls and off the ceiling and stuff. I had never seen that in too many fighting games where you could bounce off the ceiling. Are there a lot that are like that?
You can not not like that.
I didn't think so, because I played like my fair share. You know, I was never anywhere near
Not
pro.
exactly like that. I mean, like the closest thing you'll get is like Tekken. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which that's my favorite.
You know what I mean? Fighter. Like, but you're not gonna get to like that.
Yeah.
that was a whole different. Yeah. That was a whole different level of wildness. You know what I mean? Like the only thing crazy you get from that is like let me see here. Yeah, like in Dead or Alive, knocking someone into like a a danger zone obstacle thing. But that's like a stage thing. That's not. Yeah,
like a stage.
It's not.
I thought that was unique. Okay, like I knew you'd probably have played way more fighters than I had. But I thought that was interesting.
That was like more of like a unique thing. Like other games kind of do, but like that the way like. Like people at home, like you'll go up a YouTube video of that, man. Like you see what he's talking about. Yeah. You're gonna be like, oh, that.
It really is different. That's funny. Man. So, I'm like a big Tekken guy. Tekken is my main favorite fighter. My thing is I know there's two main fighters. It's a 2D fighter and a 3D fighter. So Dead or Alive is 3D. They're all 3D, right? Yeah, all 3D. Of them. Okay, so. Since that's your favorite overall?
Yeah, Dead or Alive. Well, Dead or Alive is my favorite 3D.
Right. So, do you prefer 3D in general, or it just happens to be that you like that one?
I like that one.
Like what 2D fighters do you like? Are you a Street Fighter guy, or?
I've actually branched off to anime fighters like BlazBlue, Guilty Gear.
Oh, right. Those are 2D. That's right.
Yeah. So
I've heard great things about. I've played a little bit, not enough to like judge or review it or anything, but I did hear really good things about those.
Yeah, freaking Guilty Gear Strive. Yeah, that one's pretty famous right now because it has its rollback netcode. Where the netcode is so good, where it's like, all right, this is kind of really actually reliable here. This is kind of legit.
Yeah. Like, oh shit.
Oh man, we're here in the future finally.
Oh really? That's awesome.
But no, it's offline still different.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But it's better. It's more consistent. It's a more consistent net code. But I branched off more into.
I forgot about those completely.
Yeah, so I branched off to like anime fighters. So that's how my career, like I said, my career started Dead or Alive, and then I just branched off, and then I found
that makes sense.
Anime fighters. So
was Dead or Alive? It's not. I don't know if it is. I know originally it was an Xbox exclusive, right?
No, it was
for the original Xbox.
It was always exclusive. Okay. Exclusive when it came
out.
Is
it still?
No.
Okay, I thought
they got rid of the head person that was there.
Okay.
I forgot his name.
One of the head developers or something.
Yeah. Okay. Basically, contract got eliminated. Long story short, he didn't want to make another Dead or Alive. I'm like, all right, well, you ain't making anything anymore.
Oh shit! Yeah.
And then that's what took so long to make Dead or Alive 5. That I was saying earlier, guys.
Right, there was a big. I remember that. I wasn't super into it, but I do remember there was a big delay, and it was huge. I remember you were pumped when that was coming out.
Yeah, that's why. That's why.
That makes sense.
So because of that, that's why they had to wait so long, because to wait for the contract, because you had the rights.
Right.
He still had the rights.
They had to wait it out.
They had to wait out. They had to wait it out.
That makes sense.
But freaking. So I branched off from there. Tekken wasn't too much of like my cup of tea, but I still played it because it helped out with fundamentals and stuff like that. That's another thing is surprising thing with the fighting game scene. This is where I'm back at home trying to get into it. Like you'd be surprised what games are more of your cup of tea and stuff like that. So it doesn't just branch off from 3D to 2D, because sometimes you can find that right 2D game and like, oh, this clicks with me. I'm having fun, and this is and I'm doing good at this.
Yeah, I'll have to check those out. I remember back in the day the Guilty Gear and the BlazBlue. I remember those.
Oh,
those are getting those. Do they play? I don't remember that well. Do they play similar to Marvel vs. Capcom? Are they that kind of style?
No. But we do have an anime fighter kind of like that now. BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle.
Cross Tag Battle. Okay.
Yeah. That one plays like that. You look at that, you're
wild,
like, oh
right?
Man, like, oh dude, this is some BS happening on the screen here, man.
That's what I was wondering too. Is Marvel vs. Capcom? If you know, I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
Is that super competitive or is it too much? Is it
Oh
too
no,
much,
that game was way too competitive. Yeah, yeah. People betting $1,000
Damn.
on money matches.
Yeah. Damn. I remember that had some hype. Marvel vs. Capcom 3, right? Was that the big one?
That was the
I remember
big
when
one.
that came out. I grabbed it. Wesker's in that, right?
Yeah.
Resident Evil.
That game was competitive. That was on Evo main stage for like 4 years.
Damn, really?
Straight.
I remember hearing a lot about it.
Like,
but I wasn't sure from like a competitive level. Yeah, that's crazy.
That game is. People still play that now. Like,
that's awesome.
Oh man.
I got another one. This one, I think it's even less heard of than Battle Arena Toshinden. But since you mentioned that you got into Dead or Alive on the original Xbox, there was a fighting game that I don't know that anyone I've ever talked to remembers it or has heard of it. On the original Xbox, it's only on the original Xbox. It's called Teo Fang. Have you ever heard of that?
No,
It's very different. But not like crazy different, I guess, than fighters. But it's different in like each character has their own style, obviously.
Yeah.
And it played, I guess, similar to Dead or Alive or like the newer Killer Instinct. Wait, is the new Killer Instinct 2D?
Yes, they still kept 2D.
It is 2D. Okay, so it plays more like the old Dead or Alive. That's right. I couldn't remember if the new Killer Instinct was was 3D or 2D. That makes sense.
No, it's 2D except the character models are 3D ish.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's another thing too when you go in there. Sometimes the 2D fights you watch it and you're like, oh, that looks 3D. Like, oh no, it's
just like super. Yeah. It's a 3D 2D. The plane is 2D.
But the character models, you're like, oh man, it's just the evolution.
Yeah, they juiced up the characters, but still on the two.
Oh man, freaking
I really like those. Yeah, it was just a random one. I didn't know if you had heard of it.
No, that one I haven't.
That was.
I think because like at that time, I still wasn't like that into fighting games really.
Oh yeah, you had just picked up.
I was just playing like MotoGP and MechaSol and Halo.
Yeah. Oh my God, MechaSol, dude. Now you're bringing it back.
Yeah, man. That was the Xbox Live original, man.
Oh my God, they got that set up at PAX East. All the thing. That's the one with the $200 like extra controller thing.
Oh man, dude, that was back in the day, man. If you had Xbox Live, you were playing that game once upon a time.
That was like OG status. That's like old school.
The Ragnarok mech.
Oh man, that's a classic. I love how the PAX East still sets them up every year. They set up the MechaSalt inside with the controller.
It's tradition.
Yeah, it is. They're keeping it going.
Can't kill a tradition, man.
That's true. I agree. Did you play, or are you a fan of Bushido Blade?
Oh, is that the one where
you could die in one hit?
You can, now you can die in one hit. But if you like, I think I remember was that the one with the, if you play single player, if you had an injury, it goes on to like the next round. Yeah.
Like if you get hit in the arm, your arm's useless.
Yeah.
Your leg, you'll be on the ground or something.
Yep.
It's like the most like realistic samurai showdown type of thing, like when they take the sword and they had the different weapons, and it was cool because you could choose a character, and each character you could use whatever weapon you want. You want the long range or the quick short range.
I
was a big fan of that. Some guy I met in PAX East. He was on one of the, how they have the free play.
Yeah.
He was on a system and he was playing, and I was like, oh, what game is this? I had never even like seen it. He's like, oh, you never played this? This is Bushido Blade.
Yep.
And he was telling me like all this story of him and his brother like used to play it all the time. I was like, yo, let me hop in one. And I was like, dude, this game's awesome. Like he whooped my ass a little bit, but towards the end when I started beating his ass, I was like, okay, nice to meet you.
Yeah, it was like, I remember that game. I remember that game because it was like the first game where like you got injured, and it was like, you're injured for the
now you can't use that
the whole time. It's just like
I would love to see that. Like I talk about this a lot in my videos. It's like PS1 was so important that like because of the 3D aspect and they were experimenting. There's so many old school games that I feel like they'll never make again. Like did you ever play Jet Moto? You know that one? It was
the boats.
So it's hover bikes, but they're mostly on water, so they're like jet skis.
Yeah,
like,
I remember now.
You think any game developer company would make a hover bike game now? Like no, like because they're all making these money machines. You know, they're not gonna make millions on it, so they're not gonna make it. And I feel that way about Bushido Blade. I would love to see a Bushido Blade comeback. That would be epic.
Yeah, no, if they made that, it would actually do really well in the fighting game community.
I think it would too. I think these companies are just afraid to revive these older games that weren't like a hyper, like Resident Evil. They reboot every single one. That's they redo it, remaster it. But
no, but yeah, freaking no. If they went back, it would do really well. Like for example, a really old fighting game, Melty Blood, it has never came out in years.
I never heard of that.
Yeah, that's how long it's been.
Yeah. Apparently,
they just redid it up from the ground up, obviously, you know what I mean? And like what you're saying, a reboot. And it just came out, and like everyone's playing it right now. And just like, oh man, shoot, man.
What's it on? I'll download it. I'll check it out.
It's on PC, PS4, I think also Xbox.
Cool, yeah, I'll try it on PC.
I don't quote me on that.
Is that a 2D?
Yeah, it's a 2D anime fighter, but it's been out for like a while. And like the signature thing of Melty Blood was the only game I knew before I was introduced to Melty Blood was Dead or Alive, was how you can move before the round starts, because positioning.
Is that how this game is?
Melty Blood, you can move right before the round starts.
I remember. I forgot about that about Dead or Alive. You can start moving before. That's right.
Because
that's cool as fuck.
the mind game started right from there.
Oh, dude, I'm sure. I didn't even think of that on the competitive level. Like,
it's like I'm gonna move you into this corner before this fight even starts.
That's crazy. That's right. I remember that. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, but Melty Blood,
Dead or Alive is wildin'.
Yeah, Melty Blood is like the first like 2D fighter where you can move before the round starts. So imagine a 2D fighter, right? And you know, anime fighters, big thing with anime fighters, like you got like double jumps and stuff like that. So imagine dude just jumping when you round start and you're like, you know, which way do I block? Because there's no block when you got block in the direction. You know,
right in the back.
So right at round start, you're already dealing with mix-ups, man. It's just like
that's crazy. That's crazy. And I definitely I do remember now that you said it, the Dead or Alive you can move before the round starts. I've never seen a 2D fighter that could do that.
No, Melty Blood's that one that you can. You're like
that's epic.
You're like, you hear the thing because it's a French bred Arc System publishes it, but thing with anime fighters, they always have some crazy. It's never just round one or whatever. It's always like Guilty Gear with the Heaven or Hell. You know what I mean? BlazBlue, the wheel of fate is turning, like, you know, Melty Blood's like
all these like extras and like variables.
So you know, you're just standing there, you know, and you're like, oh, round start fight. But no, Melty Blood's like open your magic circuit, like the dude's already jumping, you're like, wait, what's happening?
That is I gotta check that out.
Oh man.
That sounds like it would piss me off. I'm in.
The salt, man, I'm telling you, that's what some of us play for.
Yeah,
just to get salty.
Salty. Oh, I can't imagine in fighting games how salty it gets, dude. I can't imagine.
Oh man, the controllers have been broken.
I know, yeah, it was broken and my controller died.
No, I'm talking about people throwing the controllers.
Oh, the rage.
the salt.
Dead or Alive rage is real.
Oh man.
There's one I got a question on. My friends used to play this. I think it was called Mugen.
Oh,
is that the one that's like it's like every fighter from different games? It's a 2D on PC. It's like a mod or something.
Yeah, it's a big mod. It's like more of a meme thing, not like.
It's not competitive.
No. It's too broken. Okay. Way too broken.
That's okay. That's what I see. I thought that Marvel vs. Capcom was broken. That's why I was wondering.
That's fine broken.
Okay,
that's fine broken.
See,
there's levels of broken.
That makes a lot of sense.
Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is just every team is everything's like broken. It just works.
Yeah. Well, it works if it's all broken.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But Mugen is way too broken. Where like you get tapped once and you're like, oh yeah, you just lost, dude.
Oh damn, that's crazy. So it's like it's a meme. That makes sense.
Yeah, Mario broken is at least like, all right, you gotta build up some meter and some other stuff, you know what I mean? Unless you got Dr. Doom, you hit him with the infinite foot dive. Even then, it's like you need a clean hit.
That makes sense. I mean, knowing my friends who used to play it, I'm like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. It's a meme.
Yeah, freaking Mugen's that, I just tapped your ankle. Oh, you're dead now, dude. And you got like broken characters like UI, Goku, just dodging everything. You're like, oh.
Just owns everyone.
Best way to put it, going back to that, Mugen is like the characters literally play like canon. You know what I mean? How you have Dragon Ball Fighters, like the actual fighting, you know, the Dragon Ball fighting game that's competitive and stuff like that, made by Arc System. So think of like, you know, how Krillin can beat UI Goku because it's a fighting game.
Yeah.
Mugen is like, you're playing Krillin, you're not going to beat UI Goku. You're just not going to beat him. It doesn't matter what you do. You're not touching him.
Oh, I see. That makes sense, yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, it's
like show
broken.
accurate almost.
It's broken.
That's funny. So what else do you play besides fighting games? You said you've been getting into some like MMOs and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Final Fantasy 14. MMOs is a thing I did on the side to more of a relaxed thing.
Yeah.
During the competitive.
It is nice to get lost in like another world, especially Final Fantasies and stuff like that.
Yeah, and my first MMO was Blade and Soul, and I played that because it was an action MMORPG.
I think I remember that one.
Oh, yeah. It did good until the company killed itself.
I think I asked you about that.
Yeah. And then the company killed itself.
Damn. Yeah, because it had a cool aesthetic, I remember.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I like. Like I was saying, I like the Phantasy Star Online because if I could choose an aesthetic for a video game, it would be Phantasy Star Online or Phantasy Star Universe. I love that like hyper futuristic, like all the armor and neon colors and there's grass and then there's also super tech and yeah, I love it.
Yeah, and so I got into Blade and Soul. That's when I started my MMO career, streaming. Soul, right. Fun fact: I hit 400 views current like Twitch stream while playing Blade and Soul.
Damn.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
Like it was like 300 plus. So I was just like, oh man, people really like this because I was playing like the hardest class.
Oh, okay.
Well, the hardest class, which it was a hard class to play, and I play also on controller. Because, you know, I play fighting games on a controller. I actually don't use the arcade stick, so that's not everything.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so that's not everything for people at home for fighting games that are in here that are going to get into. You don't need to get an arcade stick. It's preference. It's all preference.
That's awesome because, like, it's funny. There is a Halo lap over for this, too, is because I've been playing Halo for 20 years now. It's 2021, came out, you know, in 2001. And now that I play Halo on PC because it obviously runs better than on my Xbox. And some people play on mouse and keyboard, and I'm like, I still play controller, like on PC. But like every other shooter, like I still play like Quake and Half-Life and stuff like that. I use mouse and keyboard, but for Halo, it's the same thing. Like I don't like, oh yeah, the mouse and keyboard's better, but whatever. Like there's still pros who play on controllers. Yeah. So it's like, you know, it's just like one of those like naysayer things. Like nobody who's doing stuff really cares.
Yeah.
They're just talking shit.
Yeah, freaking it's the same thing in the fighting game community world because it's like, how should I say? So like for example, like a lot of people might know this name, Justin Wong, famous person who did who lost to the Beast Daigo, who blocked the parry thing. You know what I mean? The Street Fighter 3 moment. Yeah, Street Fighter 3 moment, Evo, where the dude just blocked the parry perfectly, and you see them all arcade stick, and like, oh, you gotta have an arcade stick, and it's like, no. The reason why they play an arcade stick because they come from an era younger. They're an older generation than us, where they didn't going back to PlayStation 1 and stuff like that. You know, playing fighting games on console wasn't a thing.
Yeah, they were the arcade gamers.
You gotta go to the arcade. Especially Japan.
Yeah.
But nowadays, it's on consoles. You got people like Sonic Fox. I'm pretty sure everyone heard that name at least once by now because that man won what was it, the Game Award for like top esports player.
Did he?
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
especially nowadays now how big it is.
From only playing fighting games, he beat Ninja. He beat like
Ninja's. I've played Halo with Ninja back in the day. We used to play scrim a little bit.
Yeah, when I mean beat Ninja, I don't mean like beat him in the game.
Right. Like, I mean beat out for the gamer of the year. I know what you mean. Yeah,
he
ain't beating Ninja in Halo or Fortnite.
It's like but yeah, you know, he won that award and he plays on controller in fighting games. Every fighting game he plays, controller. So it's a preference. You know, some people use
it definitely is. Yeah.
Some people use.
I don't like when some people just like to hate on different stuff. Like it's like you know, I DJ. That's what I do for a living. And some people think you need a MacBook laptop to DJ just because like the dudes they see on stage have a MacBook. It's like, dude, you don't even need a laptop to DJ. You can DJ on literally your phone if you want to. I don't recommend that. No, but it's the same type of deal. Like people, they see, oh, look, this guy's using this thing. I can only use this thing. They don't think like, oh, why don't I find something that works better for me? They just go by, you know, whatever anybody else uses.
Yeah, and that's, you know, that's the thing. You just, you know, gotta, you know, just play what you feel comfortable with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah, like, it's just one of those things where it's just like...
Yeah. What would you say, like, at tournaments, what's, like, the percentage of controllers versus sticks?
I have to say now, It's definitely more controllers than
it used to be?
arcade sticks.
Oh, more controllers.
Yeah, people.
Oh, that's
on,
cool.
Yeah, people on this. Yeah, people on controller. But it's not like way more. I'll say it's like 55%, 45%. It also depends
Just
on
like slightly tipping over.
You know, but it depends. Like sometimes it's the other way, and sometimes it's the other way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like one of those things where it's hard to say.
Yeah, it's that close though. It's like about
unless you go to Japan. If you go to Japan, it's all you're a minority on the controller.
Oh yeah, it's all fight sticks over there.
Yeah, I went over there. I'm like, dang man.
Oh yeah, you went to Japan, right?
Yeah.
How was that, man? I'm jealous. I got to make a trip out there eventually.
Man, I've been there like 10 times, man.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I go there twice a year.
That's awesome.
On tour.
That's dope. So do you go out there for tournaments?
Yeah.
Where do you go for like a couple weeks at a time?
Just for like 1 week. I can't be going that long.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's awesome though. A full week in Japan, man. I gotta set something up and do that.
Oh man, it's awesome. It's awesome that it's one of those things where it's like, oh, I'm going there to compete in a tournament, and it's like the scene there is so different.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I'm sure being that far away, I'm sure like the culture shock is real. That's why I want to go there. I just feel like everybody there, it's just such a different way of living, and it must be so like awesome to experience.
Yeah, especially in the gaming community, it's just different.
Oh yeah, for sure. They got those. What are those like? They're like bingo machines or something. The Pachenko or something like that.
Oh,
I don't remember. I don't remember what they're called, but I know that it's like a gambling thing that like people are obsessed about.
Yeah, there's a lot of it.
That's
gotchas.
Cool.
They have not the gotchas. They have the arcade machines where like where you gamble. Yeah, well, not arcade machine. A gamble machine. Like gambling is big.
Yeah,
it's big in Japan. It's big, real big.
Yeah,
I can't emphasize on that.
Damn, that's crazy. It's like casinos everywhere. So where do you go? Like, do you go to Tokyo?
Tokyo and Osaka.
Osaka. Awesome. Yeah, I gotta make a trip out there, dude.
I've been to a couple of other places visiting, but I gotta say my favorite is Osaka.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just.
What do you like about Osaka?
Because I'm more of a city person, obviously city kid. The thing is about Tokyo, it's Japan. Don't get me wrong, but it feels like a Japan, New York.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like where everybody is and stuff.
You know what I mean? It feels like an Americanized.
It's catered to tourists.
Yeah. It's definitely Japan. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of things like there that you will like. That's Japan.
Yeah.
But you go to Osaka and it's Japan
less touristy. Yeah.
Nightlife, like
deep Japan.
That's Japan city, and Tokyo is like New York.
Is it driving distance? What's the when you take a trip? Do you go to Tokyo only and Osaka only, or when you go on a trip you hit both?
I hit both.
Okay, so it's not like crazy difference in time.
No,
Okay.
It's like a 50 USD round trip train.
Right,
50 USD.
It's not bad, yeah.
Round trip train, yeah, and it's just like it's a fast train too. It's the speeding the speeding bullet train.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, that train.
That must be
awesome.
cool.
Oh yeah, that train is good.
Is it like the Resident Evil Zero train?
Man,
not faster.
No, man, actually faster than that one. But and the train food's good too.
Is it?
Yeah, the food. Oh man, the food's good.
Now, do they cater to like the English language out there? Is it easy to talk to people, or do you speak Japanese?
I mean, I speak Japanese. Not fluent, not like, oh yeah, man, I'm gonna have a business deal and everything, man. No, I have enough where like I can have a basic conversation. Directions, order food, and stuff like that.
The necessities, that makes sense.
And I understand it better than I can speak it. Because
that makes sense.
But yeah, I have to say English is like us Spanish in America. Like how you find people that took Spanish class and like, oh yeah, I know a little bit of Spanish.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, like if you have like a group of like 10 friends and you'll be like, oh, at least one or two of them will know some Spanish, not like nothing
to get you through the situation.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So that's how it is in Japan. Except like so you will find some people that can help you with English.
That's awesome.
And they have English menus.
Oh, that makes sense.
Especially in Tokyo.
I was gonna say probably more in Tokyo than Osaka, right? How is the food? Is the food really different out there?
Oh,
I can't imagine.
It's good. It's good. And the gaming community is great. The arcades, oh man, the arcades. 10 floors of just games.
I'm sure it's like better than Oh man,
everything.
How's the DDR out there? I was a big DDR guy.
Yeah, it's there.
They got a whole floor for DDR, probably.
It's there, man. It's there. They got they even have mech games where the seat and everything turns hydraulic.
Oh, dude,
like so
awesome.
you really, yeah.
They only sample those at PAX East. So haha, look at these. They're 20,000, but nobody actually has them that you can use outside of that.
Yeah.
Would you live in Japan?
No.
No, it's too much. Too different.
It's not as too different. Like every country has its strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
Japan, even though how good it is, there's a lot of things that's just in America that you do.
That you're accustomed to.
It's and here's the thing, it goes into fighting games. Actually, this is a big thing for fighting games. Money making. It's easier to make money here in America than Japan. Japan, it's harder. You gotta work more, etc. And here in America, after 40 hours, it's overtime. But Japan, it's more salary.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of
so you
people,
can work at 80, 90 hours a week and you're getting 40.
You're getting the same amount of pay. So it's not even just that
yeah.
either.
That's
Also for fighting game tournaments, you can't make that much money in Japan.
There's just not that much money in the tournament type of thing?
No, it's just their laws.
Oh, they have laws against it.
It's because it's considered gambling officially. So it's restricted.
Is it super taxed?
It's not just tax. I forgot what it is because
that's interesting. That's something you wouldn't think about.
You can't make that much of a living from playing fighting games.
Oh, okay.
Versus here in America.
Yeah, here you can definitely make money.
Yeah, so I'm
sure a bunch of them travel here just to make money.
Yeah. That's why you see a lot of them come to Evo in America and stuff like
Evo's
that.
it's like the MLG of okay.
It's like the World Championship, the Super Bowl.
Yeah, awesome.
Super Bowl, someone will say. But yeah, that's the thing about it. So a lot of tournaments, you can, but in Japan, it's not that much that you make money from. Believe it or not,
that sucks for people over there who are really good and trying to make money.
So it's a lot of the tournaments there. All it is just a big trophy.
Oh, I see.
Don't get me wrong, it's great.
Trophies are cool, yeah.
It's
that
great,
sucks.
Yeah,
you can't make a living off of it.
Yeah,
the same way.
I remember that too because my first time went to Japan. So I just flew me out there. I made top 8, and it was no money.
Nice.
And my teammate won first. And it's no money.
Just none?
None, zero.
Oh, I thought you were saying no money. There's no money in it. It's not that much.
No,
worth mentioning.
Zero.
Oh, damn, dude.
It's rare to have a prize money, really rare.
Damn. I had no idea.
The only time
I didn't know they could limit. Oh, I didn't know they limited that. That's so strange.
Yeah. When you have the prize money, it's usually World Tour, and that's how they can get away with it.
Right, because it's like a world organization instead of
that's when they get away with it. That's when they get away with it.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's good insight over there. I had no idea. You just can't win money. Damn.
Yeah, but the economy there is not as bad as I'm making it sound, because people are living, obviously.
Oh, right, of course.
People are making
just this niche area, right.
You know what I mean? But
it's
it's one of those things where it's just man, if I'm working 60 hours, I know at the end of the day, I'm going to have food on the table.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's just different mentality. They grow up different than us and stuff like that.
Yeah, of course,
So in terms of visiting, so that's why, when you asked that, I had no hesitation. I was like,
nope,
you saw how quick I said no.
Nope,
I was like, no.
Yeah. That's true.
No.
So because there's no money, I feel I don't know that it is, but I feel it could be almost less competitive because there's nothing to win. But it could work the opposite. It could be more competitive.
Oh, it's way more competitive.
Oh, okay. See, that's interesting. You'd think if there's big money that it might be more competitive, but since it's not, they take it because you have to practice all the time, and if you're not getting paid for it, it's hard to balance a job and that. If you want to, same with that sport, you have to dedicate all your time to it if you want to be make money doing it. Japan's
mentality, they're really strong mentally. This was gonna go in because I know we're probably getting close to the end time. I'm not sure, but either way, because we're gonna go into it. The mentality of your mental strength, your mental fortitude is really huge, especially in fighting games.
I'm sure, yeah.
The thing is with Japan, the big difference between Japan and America, and why the average player in Japan for fighting games is much better than the average player in America. Now, in terms of when you start bringing out the best of each country, it evens out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But on average, the Japanese are better.
Yeah, if we were to pick out let's just say take out a tournament, right? Tournament in America, not a world level one, like a regular one, like Summer Jam is a famous one, but it's not like worldwide. It's just
Right.
like, you know, this is a tournament called Summer Jam. You don't get people from Japan coming in. You don't get people from UK coming in. It's not that, you know, big. It's like a $1,000, $2,000 pot bonus.
Oh, okay.
$2,000 pot bonus each game, right?
So that's like the flight over.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, couple grand or whatever, pot bonus. So, you know what I mean? You won't get like world level, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so if
that
you
makes
take
sense.
like, not the top 8, like you take like the people that got like, I say like, you know, around the 30th range, let's say it's like 100 people in the tournament, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get the people around like that ranked 60 to 40. You versus against Japan's 60 to 40. Japan's just gonna
Dominate.
mollywop. But if you take like the top 8 versus the top 8,
Yeah.
it's gonna be close.
Yeah, that
You know
makes
what I mean?
that makes a lot of sense.
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
On average, yeah.
Yeah, and the reason why is because when Japan, like I said, when I said the arcade is dominant there still, they don't play at home on the consoles that much.
Okay.
Even now, today, they prefer the arcade than
that makes
going
sense.
home.
If they get 10-story arcades, I'd probably be there every day too.
And so because they go to the arcade and play, they have to enter $1. So every single time you lose and you want to play that person again, you are paying $1 USD.
Okay.
So yeah, take that in mind, people. Like when I went to Japan, because people wanted to learn so much from playing Miss Me, stuff like that, and you know, same thing with my teammates too, because you know, when you're flying out to another tournament, you know, people in that scene are gonna be like, "Oh man, that guy from America, I saw him," you know, what I mean, etc. Like I had a person spend $40 just losing to me.
Really?
Yes, like their mentality is
Yeah, that makes sense.
you know what I mean? Like, oh, I don't care. I'm here to get better.
Yeah.
They have a different mentality, different mindset,
right,
different
right.
fortitude.
The dedication is crazy.
So they're already used to putting money on the line.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that comes into mentality of the whole online tournament versus offline tournament, because you're spending money, you're spending your own money, you're traveling, you're spending, you know, that's in your head. You're like, oh man, I spent this money and I'm over here. I just lost this first round. You know what I mean? Why did I spend this money?
Yeah.
In Japan, they're like, oh man,
no, it's towards something. Yeah.
Hey man, I'm used to spending $60 a day just losing.
Yeah.
Every day out the week.
I know,
You
right?
know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
I mean, hey, if they get better.
you know that's a big thing. Because you know in tournaments it's a big thing. To have that mental fortitude to stay calm no matter
stay
what.
dedicated
And you know even when you lose, keep going.
Yeah, it can be discouraging for sure.
And
sometimes when you're on a roll, doing good, like I'll be on a roll with my Halo team, and you're doing so good, and then you'll just get beat like 3-4 times in a row, and it's bad, and you're like, damn, like shoot, should I even fucking keep playing this game? Like, I'm sure that's universal with any game when it gets that intense, and you're on a roll, and then you start really getting beat bad, and almost feels like it's like embarrassing because like you'll just meet up with a team who just even if you know how it is, like you've probably maybe been beaten by people who aren't as good as you on a random day or something like that, because that'll happen. Like I faced teams that I know aren't as good. No, never.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
That happens.
That's like how frustrating is that? Like this team or this person is not as good, but they beat you just because of the situation, you know. And yeah, it definitely takes some discipline to stick with it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's another thing that the going in towards like for other people trying to get into fighting games or get sponsored. That's another big thing too. Sponsorships, they don't care too much about your online ranking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For the fighting game scene, they care about how well you play on that stage and how consistent you are.
That differs from
on
Halo,
this
for sure.
stage. Like when you know what I mean? All right, are you some person that does good off stream?
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're on stream, that's what matters. That's when you're, like you guys probably see the shirt I'm wearing on
Repping
here.
the jersey, nice.
You know what I mean? It's the same way you're gonna see it on Twitch TV when you're watching the stream live, when you're watching the replay
Recaps
and stuff like that. You're gonna see the jersey, you're gonna see the gamer tag with the sponsorship. Like it's gonna say Bboy Dragon, it's gonna have UGS somewhere up over there, next to my name, signifying this is my sponsorship, and that's where. It really matters. So if you do good off stream, let's say a local tournament or you're in a major tournament and then you're doing good, and this happens a lot of times. Like I lost to someone who actually was around my level, probably a little bit better at that time because I said like I lost. It's like you're saying like sometimes you have your bad days and your good days
for sure.
But he was doing really good, He got into top 8. It wasn't streamed on my side of the pool, so I was on the loser side. And top 8, he just choked on stream, on the stage. He choked.
Oh,
He legit choked. And they were like, how did he beat these, you know? They looked at me like, how did he beat you? I was like, yo, man, he was not playing like that.
I know. That's
so, you
crazy.
know what I mean?
Yeah, that
like,
can
that's,
happen for sure, dude.
And that's a big thing, you know what I mean? How well do you play? Like, for example, me, there's like, you know, there's like times where it was like 2-2 in the round, you know, set points. So a fighting game term is work. It's like you have your 2 rounds, you know what I mean?
Is it 3 out of 5 or 2 out of 3?
It's 3 out of 5, depending on the game.
Okay. So what's dead or alive?
Dead or alive is 2 out of 5 until top 8. But it's
2 out of 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and BlazBlue cross tab, because the game is so fast. It's 3 out of 5. It's like Marvel's Capcom 3. It's just that game is fast.
Yeah. Okay.
I was, you know, 2-2. And, you know, I lost a character, and the guy even teabagged me. You know, I mean, I didn't.
Oh, damn.
Oh, she's dead.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Like, it's teabagged him.
Really?
He's teabagged him.
Really? Why? Bboy's such a nice person.
for no reason.
I didn't get angry or anything like that. I was just, you know, I was just thinking, whatever. And then, you know, and I actually came back.
Wow.
Yo, hold that shit. Hold that shit. That's what you get. That is exactly what you get.
You know what I mean? Like, and I was on stream, on stage. You know what I mean? Not everyone can have that fortitude.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
So like,
the mental game is crazy.
So like the sponsors, they more look at that. You know what I mean? Because you know you can do really well at home online tournament.
But when you're actually at a tournament live with the cameras and the people,
you know what I mean? Like, cause there's someone I play with online in a couple of in BlazBlue cross tag battle, and you know. He's better than me, you know. I mean, it's one of those things where, like, you know, some people are just they beat you online. You're like, oh, it's just online. You can just tell. And some people that you lose to online, you're just like, that guy would actually beat me offline. I can tell. You know what I mean? You can just tell
for sure.
And he went to his first offline tournament, almost went 0-2. He went 1-2 because it's like, you know, it's a double elimination. You know what I mean? So. That's, you know, it's a big thing. So I was saying, like, Japan, they have that mental fortitude already. Cause they're like, yeah, man, you know, shoot, I'm used to putting my money on the line just to practice.
Yeah.
You think I'm scared about? You get scared about losing here? Yeah,
that's a good point.
You know, I'm already used to putting my money on the line with a bunch of people watching me already. I don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. Why don't you give your sponsors a shout out? I'll link them in the description.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I'm sponsored by Ultimate Gaming Style. So I sometimes stream on our sponsors channel at UGS Live. That's twitch.tv/UGS Live. But I'm mostly streaming on my personal channel, which is just basically my gamer tag with UGS. So it's gonna be twitch.tv/UGS Bboy Dragon. So yeah, just, you know, give a follow on both of them. Tune in here and there. I always stream from 8 p.m. EST to 11 p.m. EST almost every night.
Awesome. Yeah, and I'll link those in the description. They'll all be right in the bottom. So yeah, thanks for coming out, man. Thanks for sharing some cool fighting game stories. And yeah, good to catch up, man. I haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, we'll do this again soon. So thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See ya. Peace.